Okay, we're live again, and today is just kind of a walkthrough. I redid my website. I'm kind of happy with it, as you see there on the screen. Unfortunately, this particular program I'm using called eCam Live does not allow you to just fill the screen for some reason. So I kind of missed that. But anyway, this is the new web page for me, slipthetrap.com. And I tried to make it cleaner and clearer and add a few more words because I didn't have words in the past. So now I do. And this is the home page that you'll come to. And you can see I'm kind of saying I'm focusing on that I share through art, literature, and technology. And then it explains each of those. And you can go into more by as you roll the mouse or tap on this little picture here, which I guess is supposed to be a painting and a pencil. You can go read more. And then I have some artworks that I like. So I put those there. And then a lot more words. And I just want to point out that sometimes I don't link to things on purpose. And so it turns a little grayscale there. That's a neat little trick I found. Because these websites change. If I don't have some association or I'm not purchasing the usage of it, I'm probably not going to link to it. But down here you can see Fine Art America. I do pay whatever it is, $20 some a year to put art there. And that's in book covers that I have on Amazon. Let's see if it goes there without showing everything. It showed a little bit there. But these are the book covers that are currently live and up on Amazon that I did for myself and for Linda. Some of them are missing. I can see that now, but that's okay. And then the deck that I made called Taropian Songs Tarot. And then that goes to a page where you can see that if you want the deck, you can get it from Make Playing Cards and Gamecraft here. And I tried to make it as low a price as possible, but it's still too much, I think. And then this blurb at the bottom here is about how to get access to an ebook based on Taropian songs that I'm currently in the process of writing. I'm all the way up to the Emperor card. So it's taken me quite a while, but that's $1.99. And once you get it, you got it. You can keep coming back and read it for as many times as long as you want. It's just a fancy, like these pages. It's now converted to this type of HTML look. But it's just, an HTML book, a web book, I guess they call it. And that's through PayPal, $1.99. And I'm in the process of adding everything else I've written to it for the same price. You can read whatever you want to read that I have anywhere else. And while we're here, since I think this is up away from the bottom a bit more, I can glide over these little quick link icons here at the bottom. So this would take me to the art page that we were just on. Let's go back to the year. And then this would these match up with what you saw on the home page. Like that's literature, art, literature, and then video and audio, or I called it technology. And then this is, I couldn't find a better symbol. It looks like a card with people inside it, so I'm making that tarot. And then beside those are all freebie things. There's free, in other words. Fine Art America is kind of free. You can go look at art. You don't have to buy it. So that palette there that's changing colors, that's Fine Art America. And beside that, let's see if this works. It's my books or writing I've done, and it's published on Amazon. So that's kind of cool and bright. And there's t-shirts. Probably nobody cares about that, but let's make sure it works. Yeah, so that takes us to the t-shirts or sweatshirts or whatever. And then YouTube, that's where this is being done at. This is probably the only link I keep to YouTube instead of always having those big fat videos up there all the time. There's copyright, of course. And then this last thing on the bottom is my attempt at an about page for me, which gets a little strange, but it's just an about page. It also goes back to YouTube, goes to my Instagram and my Facebook. It's got lots of cutesy remarks. That's fine. And I threw in a little story about birth right there. Some free reading, more free reading. And then some of these pages I do have quotes that I like, so I threw that in. So that's kind of another way of navigating the whole site instead of always starting at the home page. And there is this menu bar up here at the top. So let's get to the big conversion for my website. I went and took the Tarot app and that I had before, which was okay, but not that great, right? And now I'm just using the one deck, mine. And you come here and it automatically is already shuffled and picked 7 cards, but you can shuffle again if you want. And if you're so inclined, you can end up back on that page where you could buy the deck from these 2 places or the book. But let's go back there. And what you're looking at here are the back of the cards. All this can be clicked on. And then I made this part up where I made up the artwork title, and I gave it an elemental, which is ethereal, and an affirmation, may your dreams be vivid. I made all this up. But when you finally get pull a card, in this case I called it a reveal button, it'll turn them over for you. And then you can pick one that you would like to see more about. Notice it's also doing that grayscale thing, so one, you know where you are, at least in a regular browser with a mouse. On your phone, I'm not sure that happens. Maybe it does, but it's probably very quick. So let's click on the 10 of Wands here. And now that comes up. This is this little area where it says click and tap to reveal old school fortune telling advice. That's from some file that I found freely available out there with Jason. And they are kind of old school advice, like you're worn out, back off, take a time out, let someone else handle things for a while. Some of these are still relevant today, I guess, but this is the 10 of Wands. The elemental is none, which you may not agree with, and that's fine. And the affirmation is, I respect my own limits. And now, because my cards are similar to, but not all that much the same, in this case, they're very much the same, but this 10 of Wands is mine on the left, and here on the right is the 1909 image of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which I guess would have been called Rider-Waite back then. And you've got a close button here and a close button. When this comes up, it takes over the whole screen. And that's something else I should talk about here. But so that's the big change. And you can come here as much as you want. Nothing's tracked by anything, except I'm sure Google tracks the home page, because that's what Google does, right? So, but there's also literature. Let's click on that and see what comes up. I might have to work on this to speed it up. That background image is from an old torn book. And here again, it's talking about books. My first book I read, and that's a symbol. These little symbols are all over. I thought it added to it a little bit in terms of how it looks. But it doesn't go anywhere because I'm not associated with a bookstore or library. I could have Amazon go there, but I chose not to. And then writing, I talk about, so the first one's reading, which I do a lot more of now than I used to. And there's writing. And then there's if you're writing and going to publish or just format books, my goodness, that's the thing for you right there. That's called Vellum. Again, I don't link to them because these sites, I'm not affiliated, and they often change their addresses. So why have something I have to fix that ends up broken? So I'm just going to leave it like that. If you do a Google search for what comes up there, it says Vellum, Vellum, like the paper, then you'll find it easily. Then I talk about publishing a little bit and all the woes that can involve. Just a tiny bit, not too much complaining. I reference Amazon again because I do have Kindle books. I see it changing over there, but not over. Oh, there it goes. So these rollovers might get adjusted in the future. So there's, of course, Amazon, the big old gorilla. And then there's something we've been trying lately called Draft to Digital, which seems to work very well so far. So those two are you're impressed with, of course, but you don't really have a choice with Amazon, do you? There's also Kobo, someplace that's in Canada, which I was impressed with. And one of my books, a very tiny book, is also an audio book, and that's on Findaway Voices as well as Audible, which is another Amazon thing. Here's another quote. And by the way, I did get slipped a trap about 4 years before they said it, but it's also a term for plumbing and fishing and all sorts of things. So let's look at technology quickly. And I talk a little bit about video and audio, the equipment anyway, and how I record and transmit, broadcast, whatever the word is for it. I see now this rollover has some interesting effects. Then, of course, after you've got the equipment and you've recorded it, you got to broadcast it to somewhere. And about the only place I personally broadcast to is YouTube, as you know. And I think this is one that does link, let's say. Yep. That's because it's my channel. So I felt comfortable linking to that. It's not going to change without me knowing. And then right in here, I explain about, and I won't go over it too much, but if you're looking to do your own web page, you should do yourself a favor and get w3.css. It's a free thing. It's been around since, it says there, 2015. And for some reason, I never saw it. I've been doing this the harder way all this time. But now it's much cleaner, much simpler, more reliable. It's consistent. As I'll show, I guess I can show that right now, what happens when you're on a phone. So I'm going to grab this and squeeze the screen down as far as this browser will go. And when I get there, that pretty much, with a little less border, matches what I see on my cell phone, which I'm not recording because I just wasn't up to it. But it's been tested, so this should look very similar. And then everything worked. Even the tarot will work, even though the cards are, you got to go straight down to see them all. But let's reveal. And there they are. And I was thinking maybe for a while, since I kind of do this every morning, I'll make a quick video where I just pull a card, or in this case, reveal a card, I called it. Because they're kind of already shuffled and everything, just to see what comes up every day and share that without saying too much. So that does work. Let's go back to the home. What did I want to show? That works. Oh yeah, down here at the bottom, it'll make a little oval. I'll stretch it out here in a second. That little oval is basically my about page, because I did not want to have a lot of stuff up here at the top, because this bar becomes a little stacked hamburgery looking thing. And it seems, I don't know, I find it a bit annoying. So I've got some smartsy words there, like usual. But I did throw in a little story that I wrote for this, which is a very tiny story. Could be expanded on since it's like the beginning of a memoir, really. But we'll see if that happens. And another quote at the bottom, and the same. These should remain the same everywhere. Now, none of these things you see in here, except for my art itself, are actually a picture. They're all fonts. So this two people with an arrow between them, that's a font. This guy hiking, that's a font. Peace sign, a font. And they can be as large or as small as you want them. This trash can and this roll of toilet paper, or there are fonts. They're just like the letter B or C or whatever. But yeah, I think they look pretty okay. They're not, And this would be one of the artworks I did that I altered. And I like that effect where when you get the mouse over, it goes black and white. And when you get away, the light comes back on, so to speak. So I just wanted to share a bit about the changes, especially the tarot, which, like I say, I might do every now and then, maybe not every morning, but every now and then do it. And how it works and that it's been updated. And if you want to know more, you can read the technology rabbit hole here. It says rabbit hole here. It is a bit of a rabbit hole anytime you do these things. And so I explained some about the rabbit holes I went down and what maybe you want to skip over or learn from or whatever. So I think I didn't miss anything that I currently have going. And I tried to reduce this whole selling thing because I don't really feel that I'm about the selling of things. I'm more about the sharing, as it says there. Sharing through art, literature, and technology. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, rants, raves, impressions, quirks, if you can tell us what the things are that are flying over or near America, that would be nice also. So with that, I will come back over here. And I'm using a new updated version of this software, so I'm not sure if this is going to work out exactly like it did before. But here we go. I will say peace off camera. And peace, and try to enjoy. And here we go. So far it's the same. So I'll say peace again. Take care.